Some of the deepest cuts in life don't come from people who openly despise you. They come from those who smile in your face, laugh at your jokes, and call themselves your friends, while quietly working against you when no one's looking. You've probably met the type. They're warm in public, generous with compliments, always quick with, "You know I've got your back." But behind that easy charm, they chip away at your confidence, plant subtle doubts about your abilities, and question whether you really have what it takes. Their concern is a performance. Their support is conditional, and while their actions might seem harmless in isolation, over time they siphon your energy, dim your spark, and keep you from stepping fully into your own life. This is the frenemy, the one who hides jealousy and quiet hostility behind a friendly handshake. If you don't spot them in time, they can erode your self-belief for years and leave you wondering if you're simply overreacting, if maybe it's all in your head. That self-doubt is exactly how they keep you in place. The truth is, spotting them and walking away isn't cruelty, it's maturity. It's self-respect. It's knowing that loyalty without sincerity is just an illusion. What I'm sharing with you today isn't just pop psychology advice from a self-help article. These are patterns psychologists see again and again in toxic relationships, the kind that masquerade as friendships. And if you've ever left someone's presence feeling inexplicably heavy, uneasy, or strangely diminished, this message is for you. Because your peace of mind is not a luxury. It's the ground you stand on. Without it, your growth, your freedom, your dignity, and your ability to keep a steady, stoic composure are all at risk. So let's talk about 5 clear signs that someone in your life is not a true friend. Let's talk about how to spot the cracks in the mask, how to value sincerity over charm, and how to build relationships that are not only supportive, but honest, mutual, and built on respect. The kind of relationships you deserve without question. 1. Understanding the frenemy phenomenon. Here's the hard truth most people don't want to face. Some of the most painful betrayals in life don't come from enemies. They come from people who smile when they see you, people who call you friend, people who'd never openly attack you because they're too skilled at hiding behind politeness, flattery, and an almost flawless display of concern. At first, you buy into it. You believe they're in your corner. You trust their warmth, their encouragement, their "I'm rooting for you" attitude. But slowly you start to feel something off, a kind of subtle corrosion you can't quite name. Your self-esteem starts to dip, and that dangerous thought creeps in. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. You're not paranoid. You're perceptive. This is what life with a frenemy looks like. In private, they praise your ideas. In public, they poke holes in them, always in a way that can be brushed off as just teasing or being realistic. They position themselves as supportive when no one's watching, then subtly undermine you when there's an audience. Picture this. You pitch them an idea. Alone, they light up. That's brilliant. But in a group, they smirk and say, "Well, that's one option, though I'm not sure it's the most practical." The room laughs politely. You feel your footing slip, and they've just scored points without ever throwing a direct punch. This is psychological guerrilla warfare. Doubt is their weapon of choice. They don't need to raise their voice. They simply whisper just enough to make you question yourself. Psychologists call this ambient abuse, a subtle, ongoing manipulation that creates an atmosphere of anxiety, shame, and second-guessing. Nothing explosive ever happens, which is why it's so easy to dismiss. Everything appears fine, but underneath something is deeply wrong, and it eats at you over time. Maybe you've seen this play out on a team project. One-on-one, they'll compliment your initiative. In the meeting, they highlight your mistakes, frame themselves as the wise, experienced voice, and recast you as the naive newcomer. You don't leave angry. You leave hollow, not because they won an argument, but because you trusted them. The truth is, Frenemies aren't trying to destroy you outright. They're trying to keep you just small enough so you'll never outshine them. They manufacture dependence, first with exaggerated approval, then with calculated withdrawal. This push and pull rhythm builds a subtle imbalance where you start looking to them, not yourself, for validation. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus put it, if someone provokes you, realize your mind is participating in the provocation. That doesn't mean you're to blame for their behavior. It means you have the power to step out of the game entirely. You don't have to confront them in some grand showdown. You don't have to prove anything or score a moral victory. You just have to see the truth and act accordingly. That might mean setting quiet boundaries. It might mean sharing less. Sometimes it means cutting ties completely. This isn't cruelty, it's maturity, it's self-respect. Because real friends are consistent. They celebrate your wins even when it costs them nothing. They speak well of you in private and in public. They don't make you feel small so they can feel tall. If someone treats you differently, depending on who's watching, they've already shown you who they are. Your job isn't to explain it away. It's to decide whether you'll keep giving them front row access to your life. 2. Undermining through competition. One of the clearest and most cunning signs you're dealing with a frenemy is what I call competitive sabotage. I'm not talking about healthy rivalry. Real friends can push each other to level up. They celebrate each other's wins and still chase their own goals. Iron sharpens iron. But frenemies, they play a different game. Their victories aren't earned through their own achievements. They're stolen from your setbacks. They see your progress not as inspiration, but as a threat. In their mind, your light automatically casts them into shadow. And here's the dangerous part. They rarely come at you head-on. They won't start a fight. Instead, they chip away in small, calculated moves, each one packaged as concern or helpful advice. Picture this. You're ready to apply for a promotion you've worked toward for years. You share your excitement with a friend. Instead of a high five, you get, "I don't know, maybe wait a bit." Office politics can be tricky. You might not have enough experience yet. It's probably not the right time. The tone is calm. The words sound reasonable. But underneath, they've just clipped your wings. It's not encouragement. It's sabotage dressed as caution. And it's surgically precise. Why? Because it's easier for them to shrink your ambition than to confront their own insecurity. This same pattern shows up in teamwork. They'll agree to a deadline, then forget their part and leave you holding the bag, making you look unprofessional. Or they'll promise to help polish your presentation, then drop in last-minute changes that throw you into chaos. And the most polished form of this? Their reaction to your success. Say you land that promotion or win that award. Instead of, "That's incredible, you earned it," you get, "Well, sure, but you know a lot of it is just luck." It's not that they can't celebrate. It's that your win reminds them of their own stagnation. So they downplay it, just enough to take the shine off. The hardest part? Every comment can be explained away. Call them out and you risk hearing, "You're taking it the wrong way, I was just trying to help." That's how so many people end up trapped in these relationships for years, losing confidence inch by inch. But Stoic philosophy cuts through the fog. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You can't control someone else's envy. You can't stop them from trying to undermine you, but you can refuse to give them a seat at the table where your decisions are made. Here's how. Acknowledge the pattern. If you consistently leave their company feeling smaller, dimmer, or less sure of yourself, believe that feeling. That's not paranoia, it's perception. Stop playing by their rules. Don't hand over your plans, dreams, or ambitions to someone who treats them like threats. Protect your vision. Set boundaries. You don't have to cut them out completely, but if they've proven they can't be happy for you, they lose the right to be part of your goals. Here's the liberating truth. Their need to undermine you isn't proof of your weakness. It's proof of your strength. And the worst thing you can do is shrink yourself so someone else can feel bigger. Third, conditional support. Real friendship runs on trust, consistency, and sincerity. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't turn kindness into currency. It doesn't vanish when things get messy or inconvenient. But a frenemy, they operate on a different system entirely. Their support is never unconditional. It's transactional, an unspoken contract designed to keep you dependent. On the surface, it feels like care. Underneath, it's calculated. This isn't loyalty, it's leverage. Take my client Lisa. She'd been close to her college friend Sarah for over a decade. From the outside, they had a solid bond, shared trips, late-night talks, mutual support. But over time, Lisa started to notice a pattern. When life got rough, when she lost her job, when her father passed, when she needed someone at 2 a.m., Sarah was nowhere to be found. No calls, no texts, no presence. But the moment Lisa landed a new job, got promoted, or was invited to an important event, Sarah reappeared, smiling, flattering, eager to be in the photos, on stage, and in the spotlight. She wanted front-row seats for Lisa's wins, but no part of her struggles. And when Lisa finally asked, "Why weren't you there when I needed you most?" Sarah got defensive. She rattled off a list of her past good deeds. The trip she paid for, the party she planned, the time she once gave emotional advice. The message between the lines was clear. You owe me. Don't ask for more. That's the trap of conditional support. Every act of help comes with strings attached. Every kindness has a hidden bill that will eventually come due. And the more you accept, the more you feel indebted. You start asking yourself, do I even have the right to say no? Break the unspoken contract and you'll pay in other ways. Resentful silences, passive-aggressive jabs, guilt trips about your ingratitude. This isn't support, it's emotional servitude. Before you know it, you're prioritizing their comfort over your own boundaries. You agree to things you don't want just to keep the peace. You tell yourself you're being a good friend, but the truth is, you're afraid of the fallout. Healthy friendships don't work that way. In real friendship, generosity flows both ways over time. Sometimes one gives more, sometimes the other. No one demands immediate repayment because there's trust. Your worth is never up for negotiation. Conditional support, on the other hand, erodes trust from the inside out. It feels warm until you realize it's a leash. And the longer it goes unnoticed, the tighter that leash becomes. The Stoics saw this clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, remember, to live is a privilege. To think, to feel, to love is a gift. Do not let others turn this into a debt." When someone uses help to control you, they're not supporting you. They're trading favors for power. They're taking away your right to be vulnerable without being trapped in obligation. So what do? See the pattern. Stop explaining away their absence during your hard times. If they're only around for your victories, they value the shine, not the soul. Don't bargain for affection. You owe no lifetime loyalty because of something they once did for you. Real support doesn't demand eternal repayment. Set boundaries. Don't share your most personal truths with people who weaponize them. Don't invite those who vanish in your darkness to bask in your light. And above all, build the inner stability the Stoics spoke of. When your worth doesn't hinge on someone else's approval, you become immune to this kind of manipulation. You learn to be your own anchor, your own most reliable friend. Recognizing conditional support doesn't harden your heart, it sharpens your vision. It frees you from debts you never owed and lets you celebrate your life without feeling like you must pay for your joy. 4. Joy sabotage. Think back to a time when something truly good happened in your life. You closed a major deal, you bought your dream home, you finally got the all clear from the doctor after months of uncertainty. Your instinct? Share the moment. Not for applause, but to celebrate with the people who matter, to hear, "You earned this, I'm proud of you." That's what real friendship is. A safe place where your victories can be fully enjoyed. But a frenemy turns those moments sour. Instead of warmth, you get coldness. Instead of encouragement, you get criticism. Instead of congratulations, you get minimization. You tell them about your new home, and they reply, "That neighborhood's iffy. I heard the previous owner had problems." You share the news of a big project win, and they quickly shift the spotlight. "Well, numbers aren't everything. I just landed a bigger client last month." This isn't clumsiness, it's calculated joy sabotage. They can't let you shine because your joy forces them to face their own lack, and that's a mirror they'd rather shatter than look into. I once worked with a client who had spent years being overlooked. Then came her moment, an award, public recognition, a long overdue acknowledgement of her work. She shared it with a friend expecting, "You deserve this." Instead, she heard, "Those awards usually go to people with the right connections. I know others who deserved it more." She walked away questioning herself. Maybe I am overvaluing this success. That's the damage of joy sabotage. It's not just stealing a moment, it's making you ashamed of it. It's training you to dilute your happiness to protect someone else's ego. Psychologists call this joy theft, and it's one of the most corrosive interpersonal dynamics. Celebration is how we anchor growth. When someone repeatedly undercuts your joy, your self-esteem doesn't collapse overnight. It erodes slowly until you no longer trust your own moments of pride. The pattern is predictable. You start expecting the put-downs. You share good news with disclaimers. You minimize your wins until they're no big deal. Eventually, you stop sharing altogether. And that withdrawal isn't just sad. It's a form of self-protection. You've learned the cost of letting them close. The message they're sending is clear. Your victory is too loud. Dim it down for me. But the Stoics teach otherwise. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The real wound isn't in their words. It's in what you let those words do to your mind. Step 1. Acknowledge what's happening. Some people simply cannot or will not celebrate you. Step 2. Limit access. Your victories belong to those who can handle them with genuine joy, not those who use them as a mirror for their own insecurity. Step 3. If you must keep contact because they're family, colleagues, or part of your social circle, set emotional boundaries. Keep your milestones away from people who consistently poison them. And yes, self-honesty matters here. Have you ever done this to someone else? The moment you catch that impulse in yourself and root it out, you break the cycle. Being a good friend isn't about being present only when someone's struggling. It's about standing in their light, even when your own life feels dark. That's maturity. That's strength. If someone in your life persistently sabotages your joy, you don't need to confront them into change. Just stop giving them the keys to your inner world. You have the right to be proud without apology. You have the right to celebrate without fear. You have the right to shine, no matter who can't handle your light. That's not selfishness, that's self-respect, and it's exactly what Stoic wisdom calls for. Protect what's truly yours from those who wear the mask of closeness but work quietly to weaken you. 5. Turning trust into a weapon. Of all the behaviors that define a frenemy, this one cuts the deepest. Taking the trust you've given them, the secrets you've shared in moments of vulnerability, and turning it into a weapon. It doesn't happen right away. That's what makes it so dangerous. They wait, they store it, they bide their time until there's tension, until you set a boundary, stop accommodating them, or refuse to play their game. That's when what you once confided becomes ammunition. Sometimes it's open betrayal, gossip, revealing personal details behind your back. Sometimes it's more subtle, hinting to others in ways that cast doubt on your character. And sometimes it's private and threatening. Remember, I know things about you. This is betrayal in its purest form because it violates more than your dignity. It desecrates the sanctuary of trust you gave in good faith. And here's what often happens. Instead of placing blame where it belongs, You turn it inward. I should have known better. I should have kept my mouth shut. But trusting someone is not your mistake. Their choice to exploit that trust is theirs alone. The damage is twofold. First, they hurt you directly. Second, they make you hesitant to trust anyone again. They poison the well. Stoic philosophy reminds us, you can't control whether someone else acts with integrity, but you can control who you allow into your inner world going forward, moving from awareness to action. Knowing the signs is only the first step. Awareness without change keeps you stuck. Real transformation starts when you decide to stop participating in destructive dynamics, even if that decision disappoints someone else. It starts with permission. Permission to admit these relationships hurt you. Permission to refuse interactions that confuse, diminish, or drain you. Permission to say, "This is enough." Many of us were taught since childhood that good people always forgive, tolerate, and avoid making a scene. But self-respect isn't drama. Walking away from harm isn't betrayal, it's healing. The Stoics would tell you, you don't need to be liked by everyone. You need to be honest with yourself. 3 steps to liberation. 1. Set clear boundaries. A boundary isn't always a dramatic breakup. It can be quiet, calm, and firm. Sharing less, reducing time together, steering conversations away from certain topics. Sometimes the most powerful boundary is simply not engaging, not defending, not explaining, not debating. Don't discuss your plans with someone who belittles them. Don't invite the person who sabotages your joy. Distance yourself without guilt. Your silence and absence are not cruelty, they are self-preservation. 2. Stop seeking validation from those who undermine you. Every time you look to them for approval, you're asking, "Am I allowed to be myself?" Their answer will always be conditional. Maybe, if it doesn't make me feel small. That's a trap. Build internal stability. Tell yourself, I don't need someone else's permission to know my worth. That's not arrogance, it's clarity. 3. Don't justify protecting yourself. When you create distance, a frenemy may try to reel you back in, accusing you of being cold, ungrateful, or cruel. This is part of the control playbook. Don't take the bait. Don't explain yourself to someone who will use your explanation as a weapon. Your soul is not a dumping ground for someone else's insecurities. Your heart is not a warehouse for someone else's envy. Your joy is not a currency to be devalued on someone else's whim. The bottom line, you have the right to step back. You have the right not to answer the call, not to send the text, not to extend the invitation, not to explain. If it protects your peace, it's the right choice. You're not a bad person for choosing yourself. You're someone recovering from false loyalty, emotional dependency, and the fear of being too sensitive. Frenemies rarely leave on their own. Sometimes you have to politely, calmly, and permanently let them go. That's not destruction. It's clearing space for genuine friendship, for growth, for peace of mind. You deserve to celebrate without being diminished, to be heard without being humiliated, to grow without guilt, to be yourself without fear of punishment for it. That's how you reclaim your space, your dignity, and your freedom. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the Eternal Wisdom. Thank you for watching.